The best way to get started is to create yourself a plot hill for your story. You're going to have the setup, you're going to have what's called the inciting incident, and this is actually the thing that happens that introduces the conflict. So if you're wondering, when does the story get exciting? It's typically when you introduce the conflict at some point. In the setup, which is also known as what is that I hear? Exposition or introduction. This is where you're going to introduce characters and setting. So in your graphic organizer, you might make a plot line that looks like this, and you might include who are your characters, what is your setting, all that kind of stuff. And then you're going to introduce the conflict, which is in the rising action. So we're going to give you a couple different ways to do this. You can use the graphic organizer of the plot hill, and you can include the details right here under each thing. Or for the rising action, you can add some of the incidents that you want to include for your character. The climax right there, which is your probably the most exciting moment where your character comes to face with a really important choice. And then the following action is a result of that important choice. And then the resolution to wrap it up. So what you can do is just write your details on your own plot hill. Here we have a little roller coaster that's going choo-choo up the track. And then as it goes down, you can just add your details here. It's very much like a free write. You're almost just adding things where you think they'll belong. And then you can bring that to class and actually have a nice story frame ready to go. There's a couple other ways that we'll show you how to brainstorm for your 20-sentence narrative as well. Some other elements that you might want to add include coming up with your ironic moment first. So the ironic moment. You are developing a moment of situational irony. That is, whatever the reader expects to happen, typically the opposite will happen, or something very unexpected from what they expect will happen. So towards the end, that's where you want to bring in your ironic moment. So you're probably going to want to do a little brainstorming ahead of time to include your ironic moment in your brainstorming sheet. And to further prove my point, I'd like you to meet the chicken. Chicken has a few words for you. Go ahead.
So when you're looking at how to design an ironic moment with situational irony in your resolution, it's important that in your rising action, your events are leading up to a different resolution than what you planned. This is what will create situational irony in your resolution.
Thank you. But wait, folks, there's more. Our pal, Mrs. Triceratops, is here to share some further important information.
When you're starting your short story, you need to really make sure that you have your introduction or your exposition well thought out. Please remember you need a good setting. You need to give some kind of a time frame, whether it's time of day, season, a specific era, something like that. And make sure that when you discuss your main character and your antagonist, make sure that you really do a good job on that so that we can visualize that person.
Thank you, Mrs. Triceratops.